All right, thank you everybody for coming out. The regular monthly meeting for the city of Saltillo is now in session. At this time, we will have the invocation on prayer and pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord Jesus, we humbly come before you again tonight to represent our beautiful town. And we ask that every decision be made according to your perfect will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
At this time, we will have the reading of the minutes by the city recorder.
The Saltillo Board of Aldermen met Tuesday, October 4th, 2022 at 6 p.m. in the City Hall for the regular monthly meeting. The meeting was called to order by Mayor Lowry, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance with invocation given by May Brewer. In attendance were Mayor Lowry and Alderman Billings, Morgan, and Maynard. Alderman Wood and Reeves were absent. The minutes were read with a motion to approve from Alderman Maynard with a second motion by Alderman Morgan. The minutes were approved as read. The mayor and board were provided with a copy of the expense and revenue report for September 2022. Old business number 1, siren grant. Rebid will be November of 2022. Number 2, complaints. Complaints will be received by either the mayor or city recorder, who will provide the complaint form to the deputy fire marshal, Chief Young, who will investigate the complaint. Number 3, street repairs. Invoices were mailed to Joyner and Jackson for the cost of culverts. Number 4, banners for downtown area. The board approved banners for the downtown area and gave approval to order. Mayor Lowry and Vice Mayor Billings will meet to further discuss and place the order. Number 5, security cameras. Discussion was tabled until a later date. Number 6, River Day. The River Day event was deemed successful, netting $5,242. T-shirts are still available for sale through the recorder. Mayor Lowry advised that the $4,000 grant had not been received to date for the event. Number 7, barbecue cook-off. Those involved with the event were pleased with the location. The city was responsible for a $75 water deposit. No other city funds were used. Number 8, police. Chief Graves is negotiating with Officer Franks for patrolman duties. If he is not interested, Graves has other officers who may be interested in working for Saltillo. Number 9, culvert maintenance. Tommy Baker has requested that the culvert and ditch be cleaned out on his property located on Oak Avenue. This discussion was tabled until the November meeting. New business number 1, checking account update. A motion to remove Danny Mooney from Saltillo's checking accounts was made by Alderman Morgan. A second motion was made by Alderman Maynard. The motion passed with aldermen in attendance voting yes. Vice Mayor Billings will provide this additional information to the People's Bank to allow him access as an approved signature on the accounts. Number 2, transfer use of ARPA funds, tabled until November meeting. Number 3, Tennessee River Rendezvous. This event is being moved from the community center to an area further out to accommodate the additional groups scheduled to perform. Mike Fields has asked for approval to okay this change with the city. Discussion was tabled until the November meeting. Number 4, new policies. 2 new policies were provided to the board for approval. An anti-nepotism policy and an operation of motor vehicle policies by city employees/volunteers. The board will review and make a decision during the November 2022 meeting. Number 5, fund balances. Fund balances for the period ending September 30th total $203,182.47. Number 6, ARPA funds. The city recorder has completed the necessary paperwork to process our request for the second tranche of ARPA funds. Number 7, library. Beth Hensley has volunteered to work at the library. Upon completion of the old and new business, the meeting was open to questions from the audience. Steve Turner requested an update on streetlights. Mayor Lowry advised that Lexington Electric is working through the process and hopes to have the lights installed by December. Olga Turnbow requested an update on the doctor's office. Mayor Lowry advised that the interested party did not receive the grant. However, there are additional interested parties. An update will be provided at a later date. With no additional business to discuss, A motion was made by Alderman Maynard and seconded by Alderman Billings to adjourn the meeting. The motion carried and the meeting was adjourned by Mayor Lowry.
You've heard the reading of the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as read?
I make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion. Okay, on number 7, barbecue cook-off, those involved in were pleased with the looks. The city was responsible for 75 water deposit with no other city's fund used. Actually, we did install electricity at the river for that event, which the electricity is a continuing, it'll be there. So we did pay for the electricity for them to hook up down there. So that was part of it also, besides the water deposit. And the water was for, I think, 1 month, then they turned it back off, so it was just for that one day. Okay, approving the minutes is read. Alderman Billings,
Yes.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Alderman Maynard,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes, sir.
Woods.
Yes.
Okay, the minutes are approved as read. Do we have an old checking account update to remove Danny? And did we have adding Alderman Billings to that?
Oh, that was September's. And she told me that he would have to bring both September and October's minutes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, what they said at the bank was, because we went before with an approval to place me on it, that they said you
Had
had
to
to have
remove
minutes
Danny.
to remove him
Right,
and do it at the
understood
same
that.
time, that's what.
Okay, so we got that. Okay, so we're gonna move right along with the minutes, and we're gonna conduct old business and with new business. I'm gonna tap on a few of these, but some things I'm gonna interject as new business as I go down the line here, because where those that weren't here can see the siren grant. Okay, the board, you should have a copy of the community development grant received from Southwest Development District. Did you get them a copy of that, Benita?
I did.
Okay. And this memo is from the Southwest Development District pertaining to the emergency warning system at Saltillo. Of course, we did apply for the sirens, but because we have to move the pole, because they didn't have access to get to the pole, the owner of the next property wouldn't let them on the property, so they can't get over there, so they're gonna have to install another pole on this side of the building. But we had to rebid that project, but I think that was a good thing for the city, because in actually doing that, we learned that they had a new system that was out with Wheeling, and it was called the Lotus system. For those that you are not aware, at 911 at Hardin County, that's where all the sirens are set off at. And I was informed by David Alexander, the emergency management up there at Savannah, that when they set Savannah sirens off, ours went off also, even if there's no imminent danger at Saltillo. Now, this new Lotus system, what it does is it breaks it down to where the thread is, the siren goes off just where the thread is. If it's at Saltillo, ours will go off. If it's Savannah's, theirs will go off. Now, this really affect the county as well as the city of Savannah if they want to get on that system, because it'll be installed at Hardin County 911 and they'll set it off. Also, the weather service can set it off, or the city of Saltillo can set it off. But it won't be any false alarms. Now, if they set it off and ours were working, if there was no danger in Savannah, theirs would still go off. So that's going to be a good thing for the city. Also, we through the years of working with those sirens and the money we had to pay, we learned that every technician come down, first thing they say is lightning hit it. And what lightning usually hit is the charging system for the batteries on it. So what we did too was interject to get approval through the grant for a solar panel, and that would charge the batteries instead of electricity, which would minimize lightning hitting the tower. So that's all been approved. But to go on down, it says, have any contacts been issued since the last report? No further delays. What will occur during the next month? Environmental clearing is expected 10/26. The revised specification should be submitted by 10/27. Pending approval, the bid advertisement will be scheduled. My understanding from what she told me is that she was going to try to bid it before the end of the year, probably at the end of this month. They was going to try to have it out for bids again. And that would include a new pole, relocated, the Lotus system, as well as the solar panel for the charging system. And that should put us on a real good course. We've got the safe shelter now. We'll have the sirens, which they tell you all the time now that it's more, if you got a cell phone, you'd probably be better to look at your cell phone for an emergency contact as the sirens, okay? But still, we're getting 2 sirens, okay? All right, so to the board, you have a copy of this, or any questions on the siren or what the circumstances is with the sirens? Okay, also you have a letter from the controller's office. You need to look at that, and it's addressed to the mayor and board of aldermen. What we're gonna have to do, I think we discussed last month about, when we did the street repair, we transferred 20,000, or we used 20,000 out of the street fund. What that done was put us in a demise with the street fund. We had bid it, when we did our budget, we had included 20,000 for additional street repair. We had included 12,000 for, purchase of, maybe a side bush hog or something as far when the year goes by. But because we only got 16,000 in that account, our books didn't balance. So what we're gonna have to do today, as you read that, is, what I did was remove the 20,000. That was a proposed budget. I also removed the 12,000, which was, a purchase that we might buy, which brought it down to 12,000 or 11,000, so it brought it down to 11,000. And so what we're gonna have to do is, in order to balance our books, is to transfer that money from the ARPA fund, which we had already discussed about doing streets with, the 20,000 deposited back into the street account so that we can balance the budget. Okay, so now you've got it in front of you. Do you have any discussion before we decide to move the 20,000 from the ARPA funds to the street fund? Do we have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
It's been motioned by Alderman Reeves, second.
I second.
Okay, so we'll put that to a vote, which is Alderman Billings,
Yes.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Alderman Reeves,
Yes, sir.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so at this time, we're gonna transfer 20,000 from the ARPA fund, which was the pandemic fund. We had discussed that before we got the funds, that we was gonna try to do street repair and stuff like that, and we did. But we didn't transfer the money back to the street department. We just used money out of the street department and the general fund. So that's put back, and that's gonna allow us to balance the budget for the street fund. And Vanita should have this sent in by the 11th, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so that should clear us with the controller's office. Are there any discussion?
And that's the same for the ordinance, correct?
Oh, yeah, we need to, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to amend the ordinance, is what we gotta do. I think you see that on there also. We have to amend the ordinance to clarify the budget reestablishment of the street budget. So, you've got a copy of the amended ordinance that she's gonna send along with the new street budget to clarify that the budget is balanced with the street department. So we need a motion to approve this amended ordinance.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Reeves, second.
I second.
Second by Alderman Morgan. Alderman Billings,
Yes.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Alderman Reeves,
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, now according to the controller's office, a new budget with the street department as well as this revised budget amendment will be sent to the controller's office so that the street department's budget will be balanced, okay? And how much is that gonna leave us in the ARPA fund, Benita? We had 38,000, that's gonna leave about 18,000.
Yeah.
It's gonna leave about.
18,000 to 1892.
Okay, that's gonna leave 18,000, that's in the ARPA fund. Okay, now, just, Vanita did file the paperwork for us to receive the second half of the ARPA fund, which is 79,000. We should be getting that in within the next week or two. We did get a confirmation of that the state had received the money from the federal government and they was gonna be sending that out to the municipalities. So again, with the 18,000 that's already in there, an additional 79,000 will go with it. Now, it's gonna be up to the board and the community's request as to what that money is used for. We do know that, my understanding is about 11,000 is gonna be our match for the sirens. So, it had been previously 16,000, but the bids came in lower and we're hoping they're gonna be maintained lower, and we're looking at about 11,000 as far as the matching fund. So with the 79,000 and the 18,000, so that's gonna be 88, that's gonna be 97,000, and we're gonna use 11,000 for the, sirens, so that's still gonna leave roughly about 80,000 or a little more that the city can use for whatever's necessary to maintain the town, okay? That's what the grant was for. So, we're gonna get this sent in, and then that money it'll be in, should be in the next couple of weeks or no later by the end of this month, so the city is setting good in that aspect, and that's not part of the general fund, that's not part of the tax-paying fund, that's just a grant that we received through the pandemic fund. Okay, so that's additional monies. Okay, board, did you have any other discussion on that? Okay, now I'm gonna jump back to complaints on the old business. Complaints, last time I think we had discussed about the board, we had a discussion about who handled the complaints, how the complaints was handled. Ronnie Neal, we did get an email from him, from a call from Ms. Carolyn Woods that it would be handed down to Kenny Young, which is, he's the one that's over that, and the board or the mayor has nothing to do with it. Once we receive them, they go to him, and then he gives us a rundown on what he plans on doing, okay? So from now on, when the complaints form get in, now that's not, the complaint forms is the complaints that pertain to zoning. Okay, zoning and planning is what that pertains to. So anyway, that we got that cleared up. Street repairs, so we did send the bills out, banners and the flags for the downtown area. We did order the flags. They came in yesterday for the light posts, and we got them at a real good discount rate. Greg and I met about a week and a half ago, and we thought the flags would cost about $2,400 to replace them. Now, these are the flags that we put on pole for Veterans Day and stuff like that. The others are just torn up. They've been there too long. But actually, it was about $1,400, and that was for the flag set with the pole, the bracket, the flag, the ball, the whole thing. So that did come in. So perhaps if the board can get together before Veterans Day and get those, might have to put up the new brackets. We're not sure if the pole's gonna fit, but the maintenance men are actually working 1 day a week now. In the winter time, we don't work them every day, so because the majority of their work is mowing, weed eating, and cleaning, but they do come in 1 day a week. But I must say that if we need them, we call them. They're always here, even though they're working the day. If we call them, they'll come in and do what's necessary. Okay. Moving right along, we did talk about the barbecue cook-off. They're looking forward to next year. Tommy Baker did send in a request about his ditch. I did go over and look at it, and I recommend that he fill out a complaint form, although I didn't see, there's no water standing in the ditch, and it's right across the street. But he's got pine trees, all of them down in front of his house, and those pine needles, they just fall, and this ain't no way to, but they're not stopping the ditch up. But maybe that's just one instance where, you got it and I want it. So we just have to look at that, and until we see a issue, if he sent a complaint form in, we will address it. I haven't got a complaint form, and I must say to the citizens of Saltillo, we had to go to the complaint form as documentation that people are filing, because a call or just calling saying, hey, I got this problem, or Barbara's over here and she's done messed up my yard. Well, that's hearsay. So now we have to have, and most people will tell me when they call me, hey, don't say I said it. Just do something about it. Well, if you don't want your name out there, then, now you got to put your name on a complaint form, so people will know it's not just the board or the mayor that's intervening in their life or their business. It's somebody complaining about them that we're trying to get straightened out so we can all live accordingly. Okay, we're gonna move right along. Board, I'm talking fast or no, but do y'all have any discussion on what we just went over for the last few items? Okay. Now we're gonna go on down. I got the siren grant, we got the ordinance, got that took care of. And then on the checking account, Greg, the minutes will be ready. Benita, you'll have them ready, so you can take them right over there. Okay, transfer ARP8 funds, so we've already transferred that back. And Mike Fields, of course, talked about the Tennessee River, and he wants it approved, but due to circumstances, I'm gonna pass this, I'm gonna table this until December meeting. It's not until April, so we still got time to make a decision, and I'm not gonna bring that into it right now. Okay, last board meeting, we had two policies that we wanted to look over to see about intervening into city government. That was the anti-nepotism policy, as well as operation of motor vehicles by city employees. So board, did y'all look at that? I think we gave it to you last meeting.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready to make a decision on that, or do you want to table that?
I do have a couple of questions on if we're gonna discuss them and vote on them tonight.
Okay, they're open the floor, the floor is open for voting, so if we do, we can put the discussion first, so let's just, what is your?
Well, I understand the importance of an anti-nepotism policy. I was curious as to who drafted it, if this was recommended by our attorney or for someone else. But I guess on the second page of this policy, it says that the matter should be immediately reported to the city recorder or the mayor for following procedures. And I was curious about why would it be the city recorder and not just the mayor? Because the mayor is the hiring manager and supervisor of all employees.
Well, where'd you say that was at, Greg?
It's on the second page under procedure.
Okay,
I think it should just say mayor, but if our attorney helped draft this, it may be a reason that two people are on there instead of one.
the attorney didn't draft this, actually, it was drafted through our office and copied from another nepotism policy, but,
I guess. Well, I know we're a smaller town, so we don't have all the hiring managers and city managers and all those kind of things, so.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
But I think it probably should be the city, the mayor.
That's true, I agree with that. So we just need to strike, city recorder from that,
Yeah, be directly on the procedures on page 2.
right?
Should relationships addressed within the policy be identified within either candidate for employment or current employees, the matter should be immediately reported to the mayor, and the following procedures will be followed. I think we can strike city recorder. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right,
To
okay.
the board.
Well, I think the reason why they had someone other than the mayor is because I'm the actual one who checks your I-9. I check your social security number. I check your driver's license number.
Yeah.
So I'm basically your HR person.
So you would be potentially the hiring manager?
No,
No,
Okay.
I'm just your administrative part of it.
I do think there needs to be a checks and balance of some sort. I don't like the thought of there being just one person.
well,
I mean, what if it's the mayor's family that's being questioned here?
well, I mean, even though it might be, as far as the, it might be reported, I mean, to the mayor's office through the city recorder, but the mayor would be the actual deciding
hiring
factor.
manager.
Right. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, I'm not even gonna, we're not gonna, we'll need to talk with maybe the attorney, or we'll look at this and reevaluate this, so I'm gonna just, table this nepotism policy. What about the operation of motor vehicles? Did you look at that?
Yeah, I think we need to vote on that tonight. There's some liability issues in here. I mean, we're talking about some common sense laws too, like you cannot be driving an automobile owned by the city if you're intoxicated. I mean, this is common sense stuff
Okay,
that we need to put in action.
okay, so board, are you prepared to vote on this? Since you took it home last time, is the board, okay, so at this time, do we have a motion to adopt the operation of motor vehicles policy by the city of Saltillo?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Alderman Billings, second.
I second.
Second by Alderman Reeves. Okay, so discussion again, any discussion? If not, Alderman Billings,
Yes, I approve.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Alderman Reeves,
Yes, sir.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so we did vote the that in, but I'm gonna table the nepotism policy until, the next meeting. Okay. Let's see, okay. So fund balances in September, 203,182, and I think that is outstanding with the city, especially when I know there might be one on the board that was here when we first started, when we didn't have $62,000, and that was parks, general, streets, that was everything. So we've come a long ways, and I think we're on a good footing now that the town can stay in the green, so that is I think that's real good. I'm glad to see that. Okay, ARPA funds. Okay, Benita did that, so the funds are on the way. Steve, I talked with Ms. Carolyn here, and I was talking with Matt at Lexington Electric, and he assures me diligently that the engineers are out looking at the poles that we were taking off.
Excuse me.
I don't know if
They've got a lot of them up.
yeah, I saw that.
I think they've got them. They,
Yeah.
they took the first 10.
Yeah, I think.
But I think
I
all
saw
of
one
them
out there
are right.
yesterday at Bank.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't go to, out Allen Drive, except, Steve, is that across from your mom's house? There's one.
Yeah, I ain't even looked, to be honest with you, but
But
I
I
heard
know
it.
Ricky
Well,
Wells
I
is
know
up and
all the
of them.
ones that, where you go to, toward here, let
Okay.
me know if it's not, or let him know if it's not. But I
Okay.
think they got the first 10 up, and then we were gonna pause, I think that was kind of what we
Okay.
thought.
All right, so, that includes old and new business with the minutes. And we're gonna move on down the line to, I think the city has planned, let me see if I got anything else before I do that, tax rate. Oh, by the way, talking with the controller too, we didn't last year, but this year with the tax money, it will be budgeted, okay? So once we file the budget in May or June of this coming year, it will have where that money will be spent. Okay? So for those of you that's concerned about your tax money, what's it going for and stuff, it has to be budgeted with the general budget. So that should be clarified to all of you by then, and that should make people feel better, at least knowing that where your town stands. Okay, so we're gonna move right along. Christmas event. We had a Halloween downtown last night. I know a lot of people, I think they said, of course, we had a lot that wasn't pleased, a lot that was pleased, but I thought when I come through town, I was amazed. I was totally shocked at the number of children.
It was awesome, yeah.
I ran out of candy.
Now, I will say this to the board or to whoever put that on, so for next year, understand that State Highway 69 comes down through Saltillo and makes a turn in town, okay? So, I don't think it was adequate enough safety for police or for the kids that was out. So next year, I don't know if you want to put it somewhere else, but if you don't, then you're gonna need to make sure that you got adequate police and safety people on hand to make sure that in case it's an accident or something that, but I don't really, the state probably wouldn't like it but they don't really say nothing because it's our downtown area, so we're not gonna worry, but still we need to look at safety on any event that we have. Okay, so, does anybody have any comment on the
I thought
Halloween.
it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I mean, I haven't heard one bad thing.
And
But-
several of the new people that have moved
Right,
here.
met a lot of new people. I have a question about the minutes. What about, Officer Frank's coming to work? We had, Officer Graves was gonna,
well,
that was part of it. Is he gonna come to work? Remember that
well,
we discussed
we don't
that?
know at this point, he's just interested in working with Chief Graves is handling that, he's still working with him.
He's
so-
still working on it?
Right,
Yeah, he's
right.
hurt his back, so I haven't pressured him at
Yeah.
all.
Okay, that's
I
cool.
don't want him down here at all if he's
Right.
hurt his back.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Okay,
The other thing, that I have is, the Christmas parade.
no, I'm gonna get to that,
Okay,
I'm gonna get to that.
all right.
Okay, so on the city recorder duties, Vanita, I know she had to go to Jackson the other day, and she did request that she had to go for continuing training. So what we did was paid her gas. She had to go for gas and stuff, so I felt that was fair. She had to stay over all day. Used to, you could do it online. You can't do it now. So she had to go over there and do it. So but that was one thing. Okay, the flagpoles are in. You've got a part of the Anthony Evans Beer Board. Okay, we've got let me see, hold it now. We've got on the taxes, we got a letter from the assessor's office, which I don't know why he sent it to us, because he's the one that establishes who's in the city limits and who ain't. Where it says, Mr. Jimmy Van Hoos had a survey of his property located at 84 Newman Road. The survey shows his house is 59.12 feet inside the city limits and 14.64 feet outside the city limits. Mr. Van Hoos requesting that the part of his house that is not in the city be excluded. This would be a decision that would need to be made by the city. If the city desires to exclude his part of his house, please notify our office. So, probably gonna need a talk, but I don't understand, Calvin, it was sent by Mary Martin, but,
Wouldn't you need to ask the mayor, the lawyer?
no.
No?
We'll ask, the lawyer don't have nothing to do with it. The assessor of property is the one that assesses what property is in the city limits and do the measuring and send out the tax notice. So evidently, I don't know if the city, at 59.12 feet inside, 14 feet out, so evidently it's up to the city where they charge for that. I'm gonna talk, we need to talk to Calvin Hinton about that and see what he's trying to say. What's getting me confused is I see Hardin County Assessor and it says Mary Martin. Is she the assessor now?
Mary's new one.
That's what, yeah, I was understanding the assessor made those kind of decisions based on where your property is.
That's right.
I don't think the city had anything to do
Right.
with
The
it.
assessor was in town today, cause he was down on our street.
Well, they got
So
to,
they-
they're the one that measures as to what's in the city limits and what ain't. It shouldn't be, evidently it shouldn't be a city issue. It should be their issue as far as measurements.
Well, according to that letter, and I think we had that last month, but
Yeah.
they went out and did the measurements, and they told us what the differences were on the property. And it seemed like they would go ahead and make that decision. I think, did they not do the same thing, with, Half Moon down there? Did we not just do that
They
same
did,
thing?
they did.
So I don't know why they're asking about that one, if they automatically did the other one.
Right, well, we'll just have to talk to them about that and see what's said about that. Okay, so, real quick, the flyers for the city Christmas on Main, the Christmas parade, and also a Saltillo Veterans Luncheon. I just got a copy of those. So we're gonna look at the Christmas event. I know Ms. Maynard, Alderman Maynard did contact me about having the Christmas event, the parade and all that. I suggested that, and she's gonna need some funding. So I suggested that she fill out an event form, and now, to all the board members, if you head an event, it's really your responsibility to make sure everybody is safe, to make sure, but the thing about it is communication, because we need to try to stay in contact with one another, because the police gonna have to be involved. You're gonna have to probably have some county deputies with a parade. It depends on where the parade is going and where it's coming from. Ms. Maynard, I'll turn it over to you right now. If you're having a parade, where is it gonna be paraded from?
It's gonna be paraded from the landing, like we normally always start at the landing and line up. And we'll start lining up at 4:30 that afternoon, and at 5 o'clock, we'll start the parade. And then that morning, from 10 to 4, we'll be having a Christmas bazaar and
Yeah, I'm talking about the parade itself.
the parade itself.
It's going from the landing to the school.
No, not all the way to the school. It's gonna go to downtown. We're gonna put the judges, what we had talked about is putting the judges where across from the Methodist church in that little spot right there.
Where they gonna turn it on downtown is what I'm trying to get at. Where's the parade gonna end?
We had talked about ending it there. The floats could go in to the side on Wilkerson Street, Santa Claus could get out there and the kids be there to have,
Okay, that's where my point was, Wickerson Street. So what I'm saying is you're gonna need additional police officers because once you cross 69, now you're on State Highway 69. So traffic's gonna have to be maintained coming from one way and the other way to keep people from intervening with the parade.
right.
So, so planning's gonna have to be done for that.
Well, that's what I was trying, I've been planning it, and you told me I needed to submit this. So
Well,
that's why I
yes,
did it.
well, that's why.
And so that's why I wanted to, that's why I was bringing it up tonight, but the school, up down there at the school, the gym floor last year is so soft in so many places. And it was still, it still hasn't, that part hasn't been fixed, cause we've sunk a lot of money into the outside part because it needed,
No, we've had money, it's just that they ain't been fixed because whoever was over it didn't get it fixed.
okay,
So that's what the deal is. So you know, wherever something, you get it fixed, and that's the deal. There was no excuse as far as money wise or why on the city's behalf why it wasn't fixed. But I know on a lot of times when we accept responsibility now, I think we should go the extra mile. If somebody tell me, hey, look, I'm gonna bring cakes, and then somebody don't bring cakes, then whoever putting it on need to get cakes. But we have to. But anyway, besides the point, we're gonna need to go ahead and finish with your event because you're asking for monies too.
well, we have a $2,000 budgeted, is what we budgeted last year, or this year for the Christmas parade. That was in our budget. And when I talked to Vanita and we talked about going ahead, because we're going to be she's going to be putting up the Christmas tree for the veterans to start with, and then we'll
I don't ever remember setting no budget for a Christmas parade
well, I
of
mean,
$2,000.
that's what it says. That's what it says on our balances right here. If you look, it says that the Christmas parade is $2,000.
Well,
I mean, it's not something,
I don't know why we would need to spend $2,000 on
I'm not
Christmas
saying we
parade.
need to spend $2,000. I'm saying that Benita and I talked about it when we were talking about doing lights, and our Christmas lights that we've had over the years are not working. Last year we threw away more than we had because we plugged them up and none of them were working.
Well, it seems like we need to buy better lights that work every year. It
That's
doesn't
what
have to
I
keep
said to
replacing.
Benita. Benita and I talked about that today. Maybe
See, that's the
getting a
thing,
better-
we keep saying Benita. Benita's recorder, I'm the mayor. And nobody communicates with me no more. It's always, every time I hear this, it's, well, I talk to Benita, I'm the mayor. And nobody says anything about, until it's too late. But I'm not gonna go on that, so she needs $2,000, so,
don't need all the $2,000. I
What-
don't know
what is it
exactly
for?
what I need, but I'm gonna need to have cookies and the hot chocolate and the coffee for the adults and the kids afterwards. And we're gonna need some lights to finish up the decorations down there.
The trophies.
And the trophies for the winners of that, because, I mean, there's like nickel and dime and stuff, but I can't say that we need $2,000, but I'm not gonna say that we're gonna need $100,
well, remember, you're using taxpayers' money.
I know we
And
are.
they wanna know
Part of that's
what.
mine, I
Yeah,
understand.
and every time, usually when I in the past when we did, we usually had it itemized as to what was gonna be bought, but just to
Then
say,
somebody else can do it. I just volunteered to do it because nobody was gonna do a Christmas parade. I thought I was gonna do something good. I thought I was trying to do the best that I could.
well,
So-
I understand that, but
Well, no,
still it's
but-
a way to do it. But it's up to the
Well, I'm
board
trying.
here, so
Yeah, I
board,
mean, we don't have to have a Christmas parade.
well, I don't care if you
It
don't.
do for me.
So it's up to the board here, if y'all wanna do it, so let the board discussion, the floor is open for the board for discussion. I think $2,000 is too much myself,
I'm not-
but that's up to the board. If they wanna spend it, they can spend it,
I'm
so.
not asking, I'm not asking for $2,000. I'm asking for the money to do these things. I'm not gonna buy $2,000 worth of lights. I'm not buying $1,000 worth of lights.
Well,
I'm
how
gonna
much
buy
do you
lights
need?
that- Well, I can't say exactly,
Oh,
Mayor. I mean, I don't know, $500, is that enough?
It's you're the one putting it on,
What-
you.
When you talked to me about my building part, that's nothing to do with the parade, I thought you needed to get approval from the board before you
Right.
itemize things. I
Right.
think
Oh,
that's.
no. When you come before the board, you bring your event form and what you got itemized to the board. Say, hey, look, I'm gonna need $100 for lights. I'm gonna need $200 for cookies. I'm gonna need $500 for porta potties. And then you present that to the board and they decide if they wanna give you that much money. They might say, hey, I'm not gonna give you this, knock off the porta potties, we'll give you this much. But I mean, that's just common sense, businesses right there. I wouldn't wanna just say, hey, you okay, we approve $2,000 and then give you open hand to spend what you want. Cause you're not gonna be coming back before the board. But like I say, the floor is open for discussion for the board. I mean, we ain't gotta get mad because we're open discussion here. Now, board, y'all sitting down there, instead of whispering, open your mouth. Do you wanna give the woman $2,000 or not?
I don't think we need 2,000, but I know
We-
all the lights last year when Diane and I was putting them downtown, we were going through and throwing away more than we could keep. And we definitely need lights downtown. The hot chocolate and cookies, the hot chocolate goes a long way if you buy the big boxes of it. I think if you got all the lights, you did, I don't know if we need any more garland or anything, but if with $500, that would be enough to do the lighting, the cookies, the hot chocolate. I don't know about the porta potties. We've never had them downtown for a parade, but we usually had the cookies at the gym where we had a bathroom. But I think
With the-
500.
With the
would be
extra
plenty.
police, what you would have to pay for the extra police would have to be in there too.
That's
So
right.
if you've gotta have police blocking every road coming into town, that's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. So I don't know I know what we pay our policemen, but I don't know what we pay that person to come and do extra work. I don't know. But I mean, you know, things
Well-
cost and you know, my thing is you trust people you've elected to handle money
I don't.
myself. And
don't
yeah,
trust nobody.
until you've seen a reason not to trust somebody.
Well, it's just not,
Myself.
it's just not the way to handle them. If you got, and if you're asking for $500, we need to present the board, hey, we want $500. Is that what you're asking for? But to say $2,000 and I don't know how much I will use, I don't think that'll fly. Not with me. I mean, if the board wanna approve it, you can override me. But if you got an idea and 500's gonna do it or 600's gonna do it, then we present to the board the 500 or 600 and they can approve it. Or if you wanna put the 2,000 down and the board approve it. Ms.
For
Mark,
the police officers to be there that night.
Stephen, what we usually pay them?
Right.
200, just depending on how many officers.
See, I didn't know that the police officers come out here, nobody said that.
Why? When the police officer always come out for, when we got
I
to.
understand what you're saying.
They usually take care of that. I've never.
Right, I
had
mean,
to
you
go get 'em.
actually,
You usually
much
get
they
all of that part, right?
They will do it for a favor for $125
Per
a
officer.
piece. Yeah, per officer, yeah. Yeah, if they're available. Sometimes, like at River Day, we requested 3 and they didn't have them because they're short-handed, so we ended up with 1 extra. That's all. I mean, he did great, but I mean, it's all we can do. But 125, yeah.
Well, whoever's volunteering to be over it should have a say in what they need or think they need. And we've never held somebody to the penny anyway, that I don't think. But it's hard to get people to volunteer and organize things. I think everybody understands that. So I don't know what all that costs, but I do know a lot of times we have to, before we can plan an event, we have to discuss it with the board, because you put in all this planning, and then the board says, well, no, we're not gonna prove that, we don't wanna do that. So I think what we've done before is that, not maybe every time, but for anything new, is that we got permission that the board wanted to do that, and then we come back with a range of money or something.
What did we spend last year, do we know?
We didn't have one last year.
Well, we didn't
Yeah.
have one.
We did, but
We
we
did.
didn't have to buy lights or anything, and we had.
Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this. How much are you asking for? I mean, if you're asking for 2,000, ask for the 2,000, and then the board can make a decision, but, I
Hey, I'll
mean,
ask for $2,000. I'm probably not gonna spend it all, I may not even spend half of it, but I'm gonna ask for 2,000, cause that's our budget, and that's what we talked about when we did this budget right here. Because we knew we took money out of our pockets to go to the dollar store and buy lights year after year after year. Benita has,
hey,
Everybody has.
now listen, I've signed purchase requests for lights when we was having those for a year or two in a row. The lights around the gazebos up there, I signed purchase requests for those.
And I wanna make it very, very clear, not to step on any toes, but I've not heard anything about any Christmas or Christmas budget. So when we say we discussed, I'm not in that group.
it's in our budget that we did
Oh.
in July 1st. It's in our budget right
For
here.
$2,000,
I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
recall that
I
either.
don't need it, but it's right here in black and white on our budget from every month. We get, right here.
Well, okay, board, let's not linger on this. I'm not for the 2,000 myself, but
Can I
I'm
just
not
make a,
going
can
for.
I make a motion?
Yeah,
I make a motion that we put in, have a budget of $2,000 for a Christmas parade. And any funds that's not used to be returned with receipts where money was spent, and, any money not used also.
now the $2,000, when you turn a person loose with 2,000, it's the
What?
30 cents of what they spend it on,
No,
right?
no,
Can I ask a question? On this, where she was talking about the Christmas expense, it does have 2,000 for the annual budget, but the current budget is saying 166.67. What is the
And that's
money?
what we spent.
Is that what we
That's
spent
what we
last
spent.
year?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, when, the 2 years I did it, was about 250, but now we didn't need lights.
did you need
But,
policemen?
but we
You didn't use
didn't
policemen
have
at
no
all?
policemen last year.
Well, they were in the parade and we
Right.
had barricades set up, but
Right.
here's what I've got broke down. 111 for trophies, about $37 a piece. $200 food and hot chocolate. 150 for lights, $375 for police, that's $836. Add in your porta potties, about $175, I think we can do it for $1,000.
now, I don't know why they ain't never, out of 14 years though, out of 12 years we had parade, we never had porta potties down there.
But we was in the gym.
Right.
If we're gonna finish it at the gym, then you don't need porta potties.
All right, okay,
And-
so
and one
it's been
thing I'll
motioned
say
by
about-
Alderman Woods, $2,000 for,
Can I
Christmas
ask,
parade.
just so maybe we all understand,
We
the,
did 2 years ago
when we say $2,000, we don't hand it to anybody, the preacher here, myself, or you, $2,000. What we do is we have that much in there, they submit the receipt, and they're paid back. So there's not handing over cash. We're giving receipts, and you're being paid back, and we do that for other things. I think Teresa does that for the senior citizens. She turns in a receipt, and she gets paid back. She don't have to present all this, whatever. So my motion stands. I've been over projects, and it's hard to deal a project. But anyway, my motion stands, and who can vote what? That she is, we budgeted $2,000, and so,
we didn't budget $2,000,
Okay.
it's just in the budget.
well, I make a motion that we allow the Karen, which is the alderman over the Christmas event, to have up to $2,000 spent with,
Okay.
like always, receipts in before we're
Okay, so
issued the
let's
money.
make this real quick. Okay, board, first of all, when Ms. Maynard called me, I did tell her I felt it was okay. So since we making this all official, do we have a motion to put Ms. Karen Maynard over the Christmas parade? And if we do we have a motion?
I have
That-
a motion.
Okay, motion by Ms. Morgan, second. That's
I
a
make-
second by Ms. Woods. Okay, so that's allowed Mayor and Alderman Maynard, Maynard to be over the Christmas parade. So Alderman Billings,
I approve her to be over Christmas.
okay, Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Alderman,
Yes, sir.
Reeves, Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Manners is over. Now we have a motion by Ms. Carolyn Woods for $2,000 for the Christmas parade. So, do we have a second? Ms. Maynard, you can second.
Oh, okay, I'll second it.
Yeah, you can second.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's second by Alderman Maynard, so now we have a vote, so, $2,000, and then she brings back the receipt, so with that, Ms. Woods, Alderman Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Reeves,
No,
Alderman Maynard,
Yeah,
Alderman Morgan,
No,
Alderman Billings.
No,
Okay, so that failed. How much do you want another motion for an approval?
I make a motion of $1,000 based on these numbers.
There's been a motion by Alderman Reeves for $1,000. Do we have a second?
Can I ask a question?
Wait, let me get to discussion. Let me,
She may not wanna do it with not
oh,
what she
okay.
needed.
Well,
I mean, just a
it's,
thought.
well, it's up to her.
Well, you didn't ask her after we declined her thing.
Well, I thought she was putting it on regardless. I mean, I didn't know it was based on $2,000.
No,
But you know, here's the thing about it is they can vote for it, and then if she can decline to be over it.
it's kind of horseback. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
so it's been motioned, then second by Alderman Billings, okay, for $1,000. Now, Ms. Maynard, you can decline to be over it at that if they approve it or not, but Alderman Billings,
yes,
Alderman Morgan,
yes,
Alderman Maynard, Alderman Reeves,
Yes.
Alderman Woods. Okay, so,
I'll abstain to that.
3 voted for it, but
I
you know.
abstain from that.
yeah, that's fine. So I do have some questions. Can we discuss it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If we spent $166.67 last year, how did we pay the police?
They didn't.
They didn't. That's exactly right. They did not pay them if they paid
No, they didn't.
$125.
You said you didn't have that when you,
Well, it's been a few years ago, but we didn't.
A few years
The,
ago.
the 166.67 that you're looking
led it, I
at,
believe,
the way we
Mayor.
have to enter the budget, we have to break it down by 12 individual months. So $2,000 divided by 12 is 166.67.
so did we spend $2,000?
No, that you're only showing the current budget.
Oh.
I posed that question a while ago about what we spent.
What we
last
buy
year.
every year is lights.
And, you know, last year, everybody brought a pot of chili. We had a chili supper after the parade, and all of the women brought chili. So, I mean, we didn't spend that on food because,
No, last year now, did we not have, the Mexican restaurant provide the food? That's what the money was for last year. We paid for dinner last year, that's why I asked that the first time.
that might have been the
We had a
veterans.
dinner, no, that
no,
was,
that was
Veterans who
the
did the
tacos
chili.
and
You want me to
stuff.
go look it up?
Didn't we do
What's that?
Let me
tacos?
go look
Yeah,
and see how much
please.
we spent.
Let her look it up right
Yeah,
quick while
tell
we
them
go.
just hold
So,
tight and I'm
we're gonna
saying
go
until I
first.
get back.
Okay.
that's right.
She can
Well,
look
I'm
it
just
up
gonna
right
go ahead and say, we volunteered, some of us too, just so that everybody knows. On the Veterans Appreciation Dinner, we're having a stew, and there have been 4 people to pay for that stew. It's not coming out of the city's money either. So, with that being said, I just wanted everybody to know that in the city, that that's being, given, the stew's being donated.
So is that a Saltillo event,
Yes.
or is that
I guess.
just a Friends
Benita's doing it.
Veterans Appreciation?
We did it through the city, the Saltillo, but everybody's just out, before we just, had different people making the chili to do it, and this time we just wanted to do the stew, but.
Right.
Well, I think with
Can I
COVID and
call for the
everything.
question one more time? Did we approve $1,000 or not? Did we approve that? We just voted on
Yeah.
it?
Well, you
Oh.
did. I think you
We
did,
did.
yes.
So we're
Well, she's
discussing
got-
what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Well,
So
she's
she's
gonna
looking up
check,
last year.
he asked her to go check, to see what we spent last year.
Okay, we can go over the fund balances while she's looking that up, that don't include her. Okay, on the general fund, $145,732, fire department, $2,213, parks, it's got $875, but what we did was the money, we used $3,500 from the Parks Department for River Day because we hadn't received a $4,000 check from the county. So what we did was put that back in Parks once we received the check from the county. We just got that a couple of days ago. So actually in Parks it's $5,487.46. And Riverdale, 5,870. Okay, so that's a correction on the parks. Street aid, 19,496, with the 20,000 we just transferred, be 39,496. ARPA funds, 38,218, with the 20,000 transferred, 18,218. Okay, now let's see, she just gave me this sheet here. What we spent last year was $257.91. D Loan Company, El Petrillo Restaurant.
So that's, all that money was spent to the restaurant?
The restaurant got $224.98. D Loan Company got $32.93.
What about the trophy company?
That was for one trophy?
Three. We had
I
plates put
thought
on.
what you did,
Oh,
We replaced the plates. We
Plates
had the
on old
trophies and we put,
Oh.
yeah, we put new plates on them.
I've
The
been
same
trying
thing
to-
I've got for this year.
I've been trying to talk to this D-Long place in Savannah, and Teresa said she thought they got sold out.
Well, Mark Robinson's son bought it, son-in-law
No,
bought
but
it.
he sold it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I can't get anybody to call me back. I've been leaving messages on their machine.
I think that did they buy the name? Or they changed the name, I
I
think.
have no idea.
Okay,
I go by there all the time if you want.
okay, Miss Maynard, did you want to decline on doing the Riverdale?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you how to do it.
There
Be
you go.
honest. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to put on a Christmas
there you
parade
go.
All
That's
right,
the spirit.
okay, so,
$1,000.
or less.
okay, now, okay, so now we're gonna move right along and get to the end of the meeting. One thing I wanted to state that I did talk to Ronnie Neal, on, resolution and, on the mayor's resignation, and he did state to me that, now, we need to meet this in the future, that the city of Saltillo charter does not call for a vice mayor. Okay, now, we did elect and appoint one, but legally, as far as legal documents and stuff like that, he wouldn't be able to sign in the absence of a mayor. Okay, because Saltillo's charter don't call for a vice mayor. Okay, so I just wanna leave that with you. And being that
Now say
said,
that one more time. I want you to say he can't sign, the vice mayor can't sign for anything?
There's
Is that
no
what you just
vice
said?
mayor.
there is no vice mayor position in our charter.
Okay.
It's just mayor and board of aldermen.
Okay.
Now, some towns do, but he said ours don't
Okay.
on our charter. Okay,
How many times was, you just used it one time,
what's that?
where somebody, the vice mayor ever had to do anything, right?
No, we never did. I mean, you know, signing checks don't have to be
Oh,
the
no,
vice
I
mayor.
don't mean, I mean, just,
Right, but he said it, and the way he stipulated it wasn't illegal, it's just that our charter didn't call for
Yeah.
it. Okay. Okay, now, so getting to the end of the meeting, let me find paperwork here, I got it right here. I know y'all be glad to get rid of me. Okay, so at this time, this is the end of the meeting, and, oh no, we have one more thing, a complaint. This complaint is from the Barkers, and it's pertaining to the Little Red Shed. And, I've got the complaint right here, I also got a thumb drive right here with, evidence from them as far as the Little Red Shed is concerned. Mr. Barker, where is he at? He's here, but, you handles this here tonight, so I'm gonna allow Stephen to copy this and send it to the alderman, your thumb drive.
Sure.
And then too, I'll pass this complaint down to it, and y'all can, the next meeting, you can convene a beer board meeting, and you can look at this.
All the videos
I
are
thought
on all
the-
the city accounts as well.
just, I thought the complaint forms, pertaining to zoning and planning go
That's right.
directly to Kenny, anything else comes to you.
No, this is a complaint on a business that carries a beer license.
Oh, okay,
So this here pertains to the beer board,
gotcha.
okay? But zoning and planning would go directly
Yeah.
to Kenny, okay? All right, so now at this time, does any other discussion on what we discussed? Okay, before we get to the end of the meeting, community, do y'all have anything y'all like to intervene in the committee meeting? Okay, Mr. Turner.
If that light's not there, I'll holler at you.
If it's there, you won't call me?
Mm. but if it's not,
Don't call me late at night.
you ain't gotta worry about that, child.
Okay,
But I just,
Thank you.
it
I-
needs to be as quick as possible. There's a lot of people stopping out there now.
I think it's, cause they told me they did the 10, or, so I assumed it's there, but we'll see. Thank you.
I seen some tracks this evening, I didn't look up, so
Okay.
I'll double check.
Thank
okay. All right, so is there any other discussion? If not, this is the end of the meeting, but, I'd like to announce that, I'm gonna be resigning as mayor, and it's gonna be effective at the end of this meeting, okay? And I'll read the purpose of this letter announced by resignation from Mayor of City of Saltillo effective today, November 1, 2022, at the close of this meeting. I want you to know that this was not an easy decision to make, as the past 14 years have been rewarding for me both personally and professionally. I've learned a lot in my role as mayor, and I've enjoyed observing our city grow, prosper, and regain its place among Tennessee's beautiful river and historical cities. I wish to express my appreciation for the support I have received, as well as the opportunities I have enjoyed during my years of service. I have truly enjoyed my tenure as mayor, and I'm extremely grateful to so many who believe in me. In order to make this transition as seamless as possible, I'm available to provide assistance in passing my responsibilities on to my successor. Okay, so now I'm submitting this letter of resignation to the Board of Aldermen, and I'd like a motion to accept the resignation.
Make-
Motion by
Motion to
Alderman
accept.
Billings. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Woods. Alderman Billings,
Yes.
Morgan,
No.
Maynard,
Yes.
Reeves,
No.
Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so it's unanimous, 3 voted yes to accept my resignation. So at the end of this meeting, I will no longer reside as mayor, and it'll be passed on. So at this time, the meeting hadn't ended yet. We need to pass a resolution declaring a vacancy, the mayor's office as a vacancy. So do we have a motion for that?
I make a motion for the, resolution to
All
declare
right,
the vacancy.
Alderman Maynard, second.
I will.
Alderman Woods, Alderman Billings,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so the resolution's been passed, and at this time, let me see now, let me make sure I got all my i's and dots covered so that this will be a legal transformation. So now, at this time, it's been declared a vacancy. Does the board want to nominate or make a motion to appoint somebody as mayor at this time?
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Greg Billings as our mayor.
Okay, it's been motioned by Maynard. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Woods, Alderman Billings,
Abstain.
Morgan,
Yes.
Maynard,
Yes.
Reeves,
No.
Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I've got my keys in there on the desk, and I think that everything is in perspective. I've left everything that's pertaining to the Saltillo in the office. The box on the floor is pertaining to the siren grant. So at this time, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second,
Okay.
meeting adjourned. Thank you.